I killed my best friend today. Not with a bullet or a blade, but with a single keystroke that unraveled his empire like a house of cards in a hurricane. And the worst part? He deserved every bit of it because he didn't just steal my life's work, he stole my goddamn body. It started 6 months ago, in the fluorescent hell of a Silicon Valley startup incubator disguised as a co-working space in Austin, Texas. I was Monroe Hale, 32, the wunderkind inventor who'd bootstrapped Neuralink's forgotten cousin, a neural interface chip called EchoSwap. It wasn't just about reading thoughts. It was about swapping them, seamlessly transferring consciousness between bodies for medical miracles, paralyzed vets walking again, coma patients waking in donor shells. But in the wrong hands? A billionaire's playground for immortality and identity theft. My partner in crime, or so I thought, was Jax Harlan. Charismatic venture capitalist, silver-tongued devil with a jawline that could cut glass and eyes like polished obsidian. We'd met at South by Southwest 3 years prior, him pitching me on disrupting death over cheap whiskey. I was the brains. He was the bullshit. Together, we built Harlan Hale Innovations from a garage in East Austin to a $200 million valuation. Investors loved us, the power couple of tech, me in my hoodies and him in his bespoke suits. Whispers of an engagement ring floated like smoke signals. But Jax had secrets buried deeper than the Mariana Trench. Turns out, he'd been siphoning funds from day one, cooking the books to finance his real passion, a black market version of EchoSwap for the ultra-rich. Cryo-freeze your soul into a younger vessel while your original husk rots. He tested it on lab rats first, success rate 87%. Then on me. The night it happened, we were celebrating a milestone. Prototype success. Champagne in the lab, the hum of servers like a lullaby. To us, Monroe, he toasted, his smile too wide, eyes too hungry. I clinked glasses, oblivious. The chip implanted in my neck via a quick zap, routine calibration, he said. Pain bloomed like fireworks behind my eyes, then nothing. Blackout. I woke up gasping in a hospital bed in Dallas, monitors beeping like accusatory fingers. But the reflection in the overhead light? Not mine. Broad shoulders, stubble shadowing a square jaw, hands too large and veined. Jax's hands. Panic clawed my throat as a nurse bustled in. Mr. Harlan, you're awake. That car wreck was a miracle. You're lucky to be alive. Car wreck? I hadn't driven. My mind raced, fragments piecing together. Jax's Tesla, totaled on I-35. But I was in Austin celebrating.
No.
He'd staged it. Swapped us mid-drive, our neural signatures entangled via the chip. He was in my body now, frail and female, playing the victim while I, the thief in his skin, faced the fallout. Cops swarmed the room within hours. Embezzlement, Mr. Harlan. Wire fraud. Your partner's missing millions. My partner.
Me.
They'd found my offshore accounts, backdated transfers. Evidence planted like digital landmines. I tried to speak, my voice a gravelly baritone that wasn't mine, but they Mirandized me on the spot. Handcuffs bit into Jax's wrists as they dragged me away. Betrayal tasted like bile. He'd framed me for his crimes, using the swap to vanish into my identity while I rotted as the fall guy. Prison was a concrete coffin in Huntsville, Texas. No visitors, no bail. Jax, in my skin, had spun a tale of my descent into paranoia. Letters from me to the judge. Erratic, pleading. The media ate it up. Tech darling's dark turn, from innovator to imposter. 6 months blurred into gray monotony. Communal showers reeking of despair, nights plotting in whispers with lifers who'd shank for a cigarette. But I wasn't broken. I was forged. EchoSwap's residual code lingered in his brain, a glitchy backdoor. Flashes of Jax's memories, his childhood abuse fueling his hunger for control, the first human trial he'd buried, a whistleblower suicide. Secrets he thought safe. Parole came early, controversial as hell. A sympathetic shrink testified to amnesia from the crash, painting me as redeemable. Out in 90 days, with a chip tracker and a rap sheet longer than the Rio Grande. Austin welcomed me back with pitchforks. My old apartment? Rented out. Company? Rebranded Harlan Innovations, with Monroe Hale as CEO, Jax puppeteering my face in boardroom photos, all smiles and savvy. I crashed on a buddy's couch in South Congress, a tattooed ex-coder named Rico, who owed me from the early days. "What the fuck happened, Jax?" he asked, eyes narrowing at my borrowed mug. I told him everything, voice cracking like thunder. He believed me, scanned the neural residue with a bootleg device. Confirmation. Swap signatures mismatched. "This is some Black Mirror shit, Monroe. We get you back, or we burn it down." Burn it down. Those words ignited the fuse. Revenge wasn't a plan, it was oxygen. First, reconnaissance. I shadowed Monroe at industry galas, watching Jax in my body schmooze VCs, that feminine sway now laced with his predatory grace. He was good, too good. Landed a $500 million deal with Apex Dynamics, a pharma giant in Houston. Echo Swap rebranded as Eternal Echo, eternal youth for the 1%. But the patent? Mine, filed under my name pre-swap, buried in USPTO vaults. She let them sign the deal, but they never realized the patent was still legally registered to her. Jax overlooked that in his haste. Rookie mistake for a mastermind. My first move was subtle, surgical. Hacked the company server from a VPN in a dingy internet cafe, Jax's old codes, courtesy of his leaked memories. Planted a worm. Slow drip leaks to whistleblower sites. Anonymous tips to the SEC about Hale's fraudulent past. Controversy brewed like bad coffee. Pundits on CNBC debated, was Monroe Hale a fraud or a feminist icon railroaded by the boys' club?
Jax retaliated fast.
Harlan sued for defamation, painting me as a bitter ex-con stalking his fiancée. Injunctions flew. My bank account froze. Rico got doxxed, tires slashed, dog poisoned. The heat was biblical. But I thrived in it, the tension coiling like a spring. Sleepless nights mapping his empire. Board members on payroll, mistresses in penthouses, a hidden lab in the hill country where swaps happened in secret. Decision 1. Controversial as a lit match in a powder keg. I seduced his lead engineer, Lena, a sharp Latina with ethics as flexible as her yoga poses. Met her at a dive bar in East Austin, Jax's charm my unwilling weapon. Whiskey shots, shared smokes, then pillow talk laced with feigned vulnerability. Monroe's changed man.
Cold.
Calculating. She bit, spilling blueprints over takeout Thai. Cost me a night I can't unsee, but Intel Gold. The reversal protocol. To unswap, we needed synchronized chips under a full moon, poetic bullshit, but viable. Lena became my inside woman, feeding me schedules. Jax grew paranoid, beefing security, but cracks showed. A board leak. Eternal Echo trials killing subjects, souls fraying, bodies rejecting. Lawsuits loomed. He doubled down, controversial pivot, lobbied Texas lawmakers for neural privacy rights, shielding his ops. Bipartisan bribes, baby-kissing photo ops in my skin. The hypocrisy burned. Here was the man who'd stolen my life preaching protection. Midnight runs through Barton Springs, plotting with Rico. We hit the lab. I growled, Jax's voice echoing my rage. Expose it all. But doubt gnawed. What if reversal failed? I'd be trapped forever, a ghost in his grave. Or worse, what if I liked the power? His memories whispered temptations, boardrooms conquered, rivals crushed. The darkness in me stirred, and insistent. The full moon hung like a guilty verdict over the Texas hill country, bathing the Harlan Innovations compound in silver suspicion. I'd ditched the city lights for this godforsaken sprawl, rolling hills dotted with live oaks, the air thick with cedar and conspiracy. Rico drove the stolen F-150, tires crunching gravel like bones underfoot. Lena rode shotgun, her hands twisting a flash drive like rosary beads. Me in the back, heart hammering Jax's ribcage, a duffel of gadgets at my feet, EMP disruptor, neural jammer, and a Beretta I'd borrowed from his safe. Insurance, not intent. We aboard if it's hot, Rico muttered, killing the engine a quarter mile out. Drones hummed overhead, but Lena's code spoofed us as maintenance crew. We ghosted through the perimeter, shadows among shadows, the lab's geodesic dome looming like a UFO crash-landed in scripture country. Inside, sterile white corridors hummed with the low whine of cryogenics. Jax's empire. Rows of pods, human husks suspended in blue-lit limbo. Faces frozen in mid-scream, test subjects, the disposable. My stomach churned. These were the miracles sold to Saudi princes and Hollywood has-beens. Lena led to the core chamber, where the swap array pulsed, a circle of electrodes, monitors graphing soul signatures like seismographs in hell. "He's not here," she whispered, fingers flying over consoles. "Board meeting in Houston." But the reversal rig's primed. Full moon sync window opens in 20. I nodded, Jax's atoms apple-bobbing unnaturally. Stripping down felt profane, peeling away his skin to reclaim mine. We wired in, needles pricking scalps, chips humming to life. The air crackled, ozone sharp as Betrayal's aftertaste. Memories flooded unbidden. Jax's first kill, a rival coder, accidentally overdosed in Vegas. His father's belt marks, fueling the monster. My own flashes, childhood in a mobile trailer park, coding on stolen library laptops, clawing for escape. Who was the real thief here? Initiate. Agony ripped through, neurons firing like a civil war. Visions. Jax in my body, laughing over caviar with Apex execs, signing away my patent for stock options. She let them sign the deal, but they never realized the patent was still legally registered to her. Ignorance, his Achilles heel. The worm I'd planted months back? It activated now, broadcasting trial horrors to every newsfeed from Fox to MSNBC. Headlines erupted. Eternal echo. Immortality or mass murder? Reversal hit 60%. Alarms wailed. Security breach. Footsteps thundered. Rico barricaded the door, but they breached with tasers popping like fireworks. Lena screamed as they zip-tied her. I lunged, Beretta barking, non-lethal shots to knees, controversial mercy in chaos. Go. Finish it, Rico yelled, buying time with fists and fury. 90%. My vision tunneled, Jax's face overlaying mine in the monitors, a grotesque merge. Then, snap. Consciousness recoiled like a rubber band, slamming home. I gasped, back in my skin, slender limbs, familiar curves, the weight of my breasts a homecoming. Jax's body slumped opposite, empty vessel. But he wasn't gone. The pod hissed open, my former shell stirred, eyes fluttering open, his eyes in my face. "You bitch," he croaked, voice mine but laced with venom. Security hauled me away, but not before he spat the truth. It was for us, Monroe, to escape together. Eternal youth, side by side.
Lies.
His memories screamed otherwise. Solo trials, a harem of swapped starlets. Rico and I bolted, Lena in tow, sirens wailing into the dawn. Back in Austin, the fallout was Armageddon. SEC raids at dawn, FBI swarming Harlan HQ, Jax in my body, lawyered up, claiming identity theft, me the madwoman. The swap? Experimental mishap, his spin doctors called it. Media frenzy. Op-eds decrying gender fluidity gone wrong from red state rags, blue city pieces hailing me as a Me Too Avenger. I went underground, holing up in a sublet in Oak Cliff, Dallas, neutral ground, far from Texas tech echo chambers. Rico fenced gear for cash. Lena patched neural scars with black market meds. But revenge wasn't sated. Jax's empire teetered, but he slithered free on technicalities, my patent nullified in court. Hale declared legally him via some neural skin voodoo. Controversial ruling. Souls as property, swappable as stocks. Protests erupted outside the courthouse, feminists clashing with libertarians chanting, "My body, my code." Decision 2. Go nuclear. I rallied ghosts from Jax's past. First, the whistleblower's widow. Buried in Jax's memories, a quiet accountant in San Antonio. Met her at a taqueria off the interstate, her eyes hollow as the grave. He said it was suicide. She wept over trace leches. But I knew. I gave her the flash drive. Unredacted trials, deaths logged as anomalies. She leaked it to ProPublica, boom. Senate hearings called, Elizabeth Warren grilling Hale on C-SPAN. Is this the future of America? Billionaires playing God with our souls. Jax countered viciously. Hit pieces branded me a terrorist. Deepfakes of Monroe Harlan. Ranting manifestos. My face, his lies. Plastered on true crime pods. The body snatcher of Austin. Bounty hunters circled. I dodged them in dive motels. Paranoia, my constant companion. Nights blurred into fever dreams, swapping endlessly, souls adrift in a capitalist void. Was I avenging or becoming him? Power's poison seeps deep. Lena cracked first. This ends in blood, Monroe. Walk away. But walking was surrender. I pressed on, hacking Apex's servers, downloading deal docs proving Jax's fraud. The patent line? Buried in fine print, my ace. Public reveal at TechCrunch disrupt, virtual fireside with a proxy avatar. They signed for immortality. I broadcast, voice modulated to anonymity, but the soul stays with the inventor. Screenshots flooded feeds, Harlan's signature on my stolen IP. Chaos. Stock plummeted 40%. Apex pulled out, suing for billions. Jax, cornered, lashed out, personal. Sent goons to Lena's apartment. She survived, barely, broken ribs, a scar bisecting her lip. Rico and I extracted her to a safe house in Marfa, West Texas Badlands, where artists outnumber sheriffs. There, under starlit skies unpolluted by city glare, we planned the endgame. Infiltrate his penthouse gala, the victory ball in Houston's Galleria. Apex brass, senators, all there to toast Eternal Echo's rebirth. The drive south was tense, highways slicing through piney woods like veins. Radio droned hurricane warnings fitting omen. You sure about this? Rico asked, chain-smoking camels. I stared out at lightning vein clouds. It's not revenge anymore. It's justice.
Lie.
Deep down, I craved his eyes widening in recognition, my hands, mine again, around his throat. Houston swallowed us. Humid sprawl, oil money gleaming in skyscrapers. The Galleria pulsed with wealth, furs and Rolexes, champagne flutes clinking like conspiracies. I slipped in as catering staff, wig and uniform my camouflage. Jax held court center stage, in a gown that hugged my old curves, toasting resilience. Hypocrite. His gaze swept the room, landed on me. Flicker of doubt?
No.
Arrogance. I spiked the punch, neural suppressant, Lena's brew. Guests slumped mid-sentence, a wave of narcolepsy. Jack staggered, clutching pearls that were once mine. I cornered him in a powder room, marble cold as judgment. Hello, handsome. I purred, dropping the accent. My face paled.
Monroe? Impossible.
Very possible. I pressed the reversal chip to his neck, emergency dose. Agony twisted him. Souls wrestled in the mirror. But he fought, clawing with manicured nails. You think you won? I made you. Truth serum in the drug. Confession spilled. The swap was an accident, deliberate, to frame me for embezzlement he'd committed to fund rivals' sabotage. Deep betrayal. He'd loved the idea of me, not me. Used my genius as ladder, then kicked it away. We tumbled out, gala in pandemonium. Cups swarmed, flashes popped. He lunged for a letter opener, controversial, a blade's edge to my throat. I twisted, knee to groin, his groin once mine. He crumpled, reversal incomplete. Sirens wailed closer. The powder room door burst open like Judgment Day, Houston PD flooding in withdrawn Glocks and barked orders. Hands up. Everyone down. Chaos reigned. Tuxedoed tycoons crawling. Socialites shrieking into iPhones live streaming the meltdown. Jax, still half in my skin, features warping like a bad deepfake, lunged at me again, eyes wild with cornered animal fury. She's the imposter. Shoot her. I froze, Beretta long discarded, hands raised in surrender. The suppressant's haze lifted slow, cops hauled us both, Zip ties cutting like accusations. Ride to lock up was a blur. Paddy wagon rattling over potholes. Jax ranting in my voice about neural terrorism. At the station, processing hell. Mugshots side by side. My face staring back from his body. No, wait. The partial reversal had stuck him in limbo, a chimeric horror. My bone structure with his jaw, eyes mismatched like a Picasso nightmare. Interrogation rooms divided us. Mine a sweatbox with a one-way mirror, detective chewing Nicorette like it owed him money. Ms. Hale, or should I say Mr. Harlan, we got footage. Gala Spike, your prints on the vial. Want to talk or lawyer up? I spilled it all. The swap, the frame, the patent piracy. Evidence? The flash drive Rico smuggled in via conjugal visitation sleight of hand. Neural logs, deal docs, irrefutable if unbelievable. Across the hall, Jax lawyered instantly. A shark from Baker Botts, billing $2,000 an hour. His story? Victim narrative deluxe. Monroe's obsessed, dosed the party to kidnap me. Gaslighting gospel. Bail hearings turned circus. Paparazzi swarming the courthouse. Protesters waving signs. Souls aren't stocks. Versus free the swap. CNN looped the chimeric reveal. Psychologists debated on Joe Rogan. Dissociative identity or sci-fi psyop. I made bail first anonymous donor, Lena's pharma contacts. Jax rotted, his lawyers scrambling for injunctions. Freedom tasted like ash. Dallas safe house raided while I was inside. Rico vanished. Heart-stopping call from a burner. They got me, MO feds or his goons, can't tell. Trail went cold, but grief forged resolve. Revenge evolved. Dismantle his network. Brick by bloody brick. Back in the game, I went full ghost. Bleached hair, facial prosthetics from a prosthetist pal in LA. Hit the dark web. Bounties on Jax's lieutenants. First target. Victor Kane, Apex CFO who'd greenlit the deal blind to the patent snag. Tracked him to a cigar lounge in River Oaks, Houston's old money enclave. Posed as a hooker, controversial degradation but effective. Over cohibas and cognac, I slipped him a spiked Monte Cristo. Truth serum redux. Talk, I hissed, his bulk slumping in the booth. Confessions tumbled. Jax's bribes, buried bodies in the hill country, test subjects disposed in lime pits. Kane's role? Laundering via shell core in the Caymans. I recorded it all, uploaded anonymously to WikiLeaks before dawn. By breakfast, headlines screamed, Pharma giant in soul swap scandal. Exec implicates CEO.
Fallout tsunami, Apex stock rated, SEC freezing assets.
Jax's chimeric mug dominated Fox News, pundits howling about woke science run amok. He countersued from jail, claiming I dose myself for sympathy. Twisted genius, painting the victim as villain. Public splintered. MAGA forums branded me a libtard witch. TikTok, Gen Z hailed body rebel queen. Debates raged in barbershops and bars from Austin to Atlanta. Was neural swapping slavery or salvation? Decision 3, the gut punch. Infiltrate his family. Jax's sister, Eliza, a Park Avenue socialite I'd glimpsed in memories, complicit in laundering via charity galas. Flew to NYC coach class, crashing her fundraiser at the Met. Chanel knockoff, fake invite. Schmooze donors, then cornered her in the cloister's garden, Hudson River glittering like fool's gold. You're next, Eliza. Her martini glass shattered on marble. Jax?
He
made me. Tears, then truths. She'd known about the embezzlement, funneled funds to her husband's failing hedge fund. The swap? She'd urged it. Fix your mess, brother. Use her. Betrayal's echo. Family as fortress of fraud. I gave her a choice. Testify or join the leaks. She chose silence, slit her wrists that night, note blaming, the thief in our blood. No blood on my hands, but the weight crushed. Controversial calculus. One death to save dozens? Rico surfaced a week later, holed up in a Taos commune, beaten but breathing. Feds leaned on me, MO immunity, for testimony. We reunited in a Waffle House off I-40, hash browns soaking up sobs. His intel, Jack's plotting a full reversal from inside, bribing a guard for chip access. Endgame loomed. Bust him out? Or let the system grind?
No.
I chose the shadows.
Planted a decoy fake reversal op in Leavenworth proxy. Drew his crew like moths.
Ambush in a Kansas wheat field, moonless night. Lena's drones dropping flashbangs, my team, ex-cons from Huntsville, debts called in swarming. We snatched the guard, torched the van, message sent. Jack's got it. Isolated, raging in solitary. But power's addictive. In his absence, I stepped into the void. Assumed Harlan, alias online, feeding tips to journalists. Exposed as mistresses, swapped influencers spilling on OnlyFans about soul rape. Controversial exposés, swap Me Too trended. Victims emerging from woodwork. Congresswoman AOC tweeted, "Time to regulate the soul trade." Bills drafted, hearings heated. Twist crept in whispers. A memory Jack says resurfaced. The swap night, my champagne flute. Drugged by me?
No.
I'd spiked his, testing loyalty. Paranoia? Or truth? Neural logs blurred under scrutiny. Lena confessed tweaks for stability. Doubt festered. Had I invited the betrayal, pushing him to extremes? Houston summer sweltered as trial prep peaked. DA offered plea. Manslaughter for the incidents. Time served if I testified. Jax's team countered. Full acquittal. Me charged with conspiracy. Standoff. I met him once pre-trial, through plexiglass in Harris County Jail, his face a grotesque halfway house between us. "You look good, Mo," he leered, voice a falsetto crack. "Miss my dick?"
Fuck you, Jax.
But rage faltered. His eyes, my eyes, held mirrors. Ambition's abyss. Why me? Because you were perfect. Until you weren't. Confessions core. He'd swapped to escape debts, but stayed for the thrill. My crimes? Projection, his embezzlement, pinned to frame the fall. Visitation ended. I walked out into Gulf humidity, resolve cracking. Rico waited in the lot. We end this, or it ends us.
Nod.
Plan, trial sabotage. Hack the feed, broadcast raw logs during opening arguments. Risky, federal rap if caught. But justice? Or vengeance's veil? Courtroom day dawned drizzly, jury box filling with skeptical stares. Jax entered in cuffs, chimeric horror softened by makeup. My testimony, measured, damning. He stole my body, my life, because power's the ultimate high. Gasps rippled. Sketches circulated, my poised profile versus his monstrous mask. A cross-exam, his lawyer eviscerated. Ms. Hale, you admit spiking drinks? Planting evidence. Seeds of doubt sown.
Judy Waver. Misty and looming.
Outside, protesters clashed, fists flying, tear gas canisters popping like punctuation. That night, in a Motel 6 on the outskirts, Lena cracked the vault. Final log. Twist. The swap initiator? Not Jax. Me, subconscious override during calibration, my code's Easter egg activating on stress. I'd pulled the trigger, inviting chaos to test him. Betrayal inverted. His crime, born of my hubris. Rain lashed the Motel 6 window like accusatory fingers, thunder rumbling over the gulf like God's own discontent. I paced the threadbare carpet, neural log printout crumpled in my fist, black ink screaming the inversion. My code, my swap initiation. A subconscious failsafe, buried deep in Echo Swap's architecture, triggered by the champagne haze and his wandering eyes on a lab tech. I'd yanked us into the abyss, testing loyalty like a jealous god. Jax's betrayal? Catalyst, not cause. The worm in my garden. Lena watched from the bed, ice packed to her bruises, eyes hollow as spent cartridges. Doesn't change facts, Monroe. He framed you. Killed for it. Rico paced opposite, nursing a black eye from the courthouse scrum. Twist's a mindfuck, but the bastard's still the monster. Truth's vein ran deeper, poisoned. I'd borne his crimes not just framed, but invited. My tech, my trigger. You am realization. We were mirrors, ambition's Siamese twins. But revenge? It pulsed insistent, drowning doubt. Trial restarts in 48, I said, voice steady as rebar. We force the hand. Plan coalesced in the witching hour. Courtroom hack. Live stream the unfiltered logs during his testimony. Lena's script, Rico's hardware, drone delivered to the Wi-Fi router. Risk? Felony cyberterrorism. 10 to life. Controversial? Like dropping napalm on a nursery. But the scales tipped, exposed the rot, damn the fallout. Dawn broke muggy. We split, me to court, them to vantage points. Harris County buzzed. Metal detectors beeping, reporters jostling like hyenas. I slipped into the gallery, anonymous in oversized shades and a Astros cap. Jack's at the defense table, shackled but smirking, his lawyer a silver fox with ivy drawl. Judge, a grizzled ex-prosecutor, banged gavel. Order. Proceed. Prosecution recapped. Fraud, assault, negligent homicides. Then Jax took the stand, oath sworn on a Bible he never believed. I am Monroe Hale, he began, voice a haunting echo of mine, and this woman, pointing my way, stole my soul. Jury leaned in, rapt. He spun silk, devoted partner, sabotaged by my instability. The swap? Her experiment gone wrong. Cameras rolled. Nation watched. My thumb hovered over burner app, signal to Lena. Send? Heart jackhammered. Twist nod. Broadcasting absolved him, implicated me. Hero or harpy? Fuck it. Talk. Screens flickered, courtroom projectors, live feeds, hijacked. Raw logs unspooled. Neural graphs spiking, my code's signature blooming like a confession. Audio overlay, fragmented voices, mine, his mid-swap. Trust me, Jax. Or else. Gasps echoed. Judge hammered futilely. Jax's face drained corpse pale. What the? Prosecutor pounced. Objection. Tampering. But too late. Log scrolled. His bribes timestamped. Disposals geotagged. Victim testimonies autoplayed. Ghost voices from the pods. Help. Trapped. Jury horror mirrored the galleries. A juror vomited into her purse. Chaos crested. Bailiffs wrestling reporters. Jax lunging at the bench. Shackles snapping taut. I bolted amid pandemonium. Cap lost in the crush. Outside, riot vans idled. Protesters surged. Justice for souls. Clashing with Free Harlan. Counterchants. Tear gas bloomed. I ran, lungs burning, into Montrose alleys where graffiti screamed rebellion. Rico's text, extract at Memorial Park. Cops on tail. Rendezvous under live oaks dripping Spanish moss. Lena's van idling. It worked, she gasped, hugging fierce. He's done. FBI swarming the lab as we speak. Radio crackled confirmations. Mistrial declared. Jax indicted on capital charges. Murder 1, racketeering. Apex dissolved overnight. VC's suicided reputations. But Victory's afterglow soured quick. Feds traced the hack. Lena's IP sloppy under pressure. Warrants dropped by midnight. Monroe Hale, cyber intrusion. Aiding escape. Escape? No, but Rico's prints on the drone sealed it. We fled north. I-45 melting into I-30. Arkansas Ozarks our horizon. Safe house. A cabin off Highway 7, stalked by sympathizers. A hacker collective calling themselves Soul Guard. Isolation bred introspection. Days blurred. Chopping wood. Scanning news on Satlink. Jax's empire crumbled. Assets seized. Trials spawning spin-offs in Cali and DC. Chimeric photos trended. Monster mask. Pundits debated endlessly. Was I vigilante or virus? Bill Maher monologued. America's new pastime, swapping blame like Pokemon cards. Secrets unearthed themselves in quiet. A package arrived. Anonymous. Postmarked mobile. My childhood Bible, dog-eared, with a note. You always fought dirty, sis. Dad's belt taught us that. Eliza? No. Jax's forgery, psychological jab from custody. Enclosed, a vial, unlabeled. Neural enhancer? Poison? I flushed it, but paranoia bloomed. Nights, Dreams swapped us endlessly, me in his bulk, him in my grace, chasing through infinite boardrooms. Decision 4. Sever ties. Told Lena and Rico to ghost. New IDs, fresh starts. This ends with me. They argued, tears and curses, but left at dawn, then vanishing into mist. Alone, the cabin echoed my fractures. Wired a final play, testify remotely, via encrypted feed to the federal probe. No immunity, just truth. I triggered it, I'd admit, but he wielded the knife. DC hearing loomed virtual. I prepped in flannel and bourbon. Feed live, senators in suits, screens glowing my pixelated face. Ms. Hale, Warren intoned. Your role? Deep breath. I built the trap. He sprang it. Logs submitted. My code's culpability front and center. Gasps, murmurs. Jax, linked from Supermax, interjected. Liar. She planned it all. His voice cracked, desperation raw. Twist reversed again. Feds dropped a bomb. Recovered audio from the lab. His voice, pre-swap, monologuing to a mirror. Monroe's out. Her patent's mine. Frame the bitch. Swap and run. Inversion complete. He'd scripted the frame, but my failsafe accelerated. Mutual madness. Senators recoiled. Probe widened. Neural tech banned pending ethics overhaul. I logged off. Screen black as absolution. But freedom's illusion. Bounty hunters, private, Jax funded, circled the Ozarks. First sign. Drone buzz overhead, then gunfire splintering cabin siding. I returned fire. Jax's training from his memories guiding steady. One down, winged, fleeing. Second breached the door. X-mark, tattooed with Apex ink. Close quarters. I disarmed, zip-tied, interrogated with Lena's kit. Jax sends regards. Says you're incomplete without him. Message received. Fled deeper woods. Backpack light. Knife. Cash. Chip extractor. Hiked to a ranger station. Hitched to Little Rock. Greyhound to Chicago. Blending into Midwest anonymity. City swallowed me. Lake Michigan winds whipping. L trains rattling like regrets. New life? Illusion. Contacts buzzed. SoulGuard offers. Consulting gigs. Underground swaps for the afflicted. Temptation whispered. Use the power, right. But darkness clung. As coal dust. Controversial choice. One last hack. In a cyber cafe off Michigan Avenue, I accessed Jax's prison logs. Partial reversal progressing. Docs warned psychotic breaks. Poetic. I spiked his feed. Digital command. A nurse's compromised tablet. Reversal accelerant. Force the swap back. Solo. His body. Mine would fray. Soul snapping like brittle bone. Mercy? Or malice? Watched via feed. Convulsions in Supermax Med Bay. Alarms blaring. Guards restrained. Docs scrambled. By dawn, flatline. No headlines. Inmate medical emergency. But ripples. Probe closed. Tech moratorium indefinite. I walked the mag mile. Crowds parting like Red Sea judgment. A ghost in plain sight. Twist's tail. A burner call. Rico's voice.
Montag?
Lena's gone. Overdose. Blamed herself. Grief gutted. My war's collateral. Vengeance's vein ran dry, leaving scars. Chicago's winter bit like a junkyard dog. Wind off the lake clawing through my thrift store coat as I trudged Wrigleyville sidewalks, breath fogging in the December chill. For months since the Supermax flatline, no, since Jax's end. I'd traded Ozark's isolation for urban camouflage. Barista gig at a hipster joint near DePaul, slinging lattes to hungover undergrads. Monros Haile? Buried under aliases, Mary Honeycutt now, with a Midwestern twang and a backstory of small-town heartache. SoulGuard whispers faded. I ghosted them too. Paranoia's faithful hound. News cycled the Harlan Hale affair into true crime fodder. Netflix doc in production. Swapped. The soul heist. Pundits still bickered. O'Reilly clones decrying feminazi Frankentech, while podcasters dissected my anti-hero arc. Debatable ending. Justice served, or Pandora's box cracked wide. Congress passed the Neural Integrity Act, swaps criminalized, patents nationalized for public good. My Echo Swap, dissected in DARPA labs, birthing drones and interrogators. Irony's cold comfort. Rico checked in sporadic, New Orleans bouncing clubs, living for Lena. His grief mirrored mine. Booze-soaked calls at 2 a.m., toasting ghosts. You did right, Mo fucker earned it.
Did he?
Nights in my walk-up, radiator hissing like accusations, doubts nod. The twist's residue, my code's spark ignited the blaze.
Betrayal mutual, crime conjoint.
I'd borne his fall, but pushed him into it. Ambition's tango, steps synced in hubris. Spring thawed the city, Cubs fans emerging like zombies from hibernation. My routine ossified. Shift, subway, solitude. Then a ghost. Coffee shop line, ball cap low, broad shoulders, stubble shadowing a familiar jaw.
Jax's jaw.
Heart seized. I dropped the scone tray, porcelain shattering like sanity. He turned, not him. Cousin? No. Federal agent. Badge flashing subtle. Ms. Honeycutt? FBI. We need to talk. Panics flood. Dragged to a black SUV. Magnificent mile blurring past. Interrogation in a loop high-rise. Glass walls overlooking the loop's frantic pulse. Agent Reyes, Latina with eyes like Lena's, sharp, unyielding. The Supermax incident. Your print on the nurse's tablet.
Deny?
Futile. Logs don't lie. Self-defense. I countered, voice steady. He was coming for me, through proxies, always. Reyes leaned in, coffee breath mingling with doubt. We know about the accelerant.
Manslaughter, Hale.
Plea for 10, with tech immunity. Controversial crossroads. Confess, reclaim Monroe Hale, testify on neural ethics, become poster child for reform. Or run, dissolve into witness protection's gray limbo. Hours ticked, skyline darkened to neon veins. Flashback reel. Austin Labs humming promise, Jax's laugh warm before the chill. Betrayal's depth? We'd both chiseled it, stone by stolen stone. I'll take the plea, I said at dawn, sun gilding the Chicago River gold. Handcuffs clicked gentle, resignation not rage. Transfer to Leavenworth Proxy, women's wing, yoga mats and group therapy, far from Huntsville's howl. Sentence: 7, with good behavior. Inside, I taught coding to inmates, firewalls against the world's hacks. Letters trickled. Rico's postcards, scrawled with jazz club invites, Soul Guard manifestos, hailing me saint. Parole in 3, halfway house in Kansas City, barbecue joints and Royals games. Rebuilt slow, adjunct prof at community college, lecturing on ethics and AI, irony's full circle. No swaps, no secrets, just code that healed, apps for trauma survivors mapping neural scars. Dated a mechanic, tattooed vet with steady hands, no ambitions to steal. But echoes lingered. Full moon nights, phantom itches at my neck, chip scar tingling. Dreams, Jax's face in mine whispering, we're the same. Wake sweating, mirror check, Monroe Hale, unswapped, unbroken.
Or was she?
Final twist landed casual. Package at the doorstep, no return. Inside, USPTO letter, patent reinstated, Echo swap mine, royalties pending. No clipped. She let them sign the deal, but they never realized the patent was still legally registered to her. Use it right. A friend. Handwriting? Lena's forged? Or ghost? Debate eternal. Happy coda or by tragic veil? I banked the check, funded a clinic, swaps for the suffering, regulated, redemptive. Rico visited, beers on the porch. You won, Mo. We all did. Lie kind, but close. America churned on. Elections raging. Tech barons swapping scandals like trading cards.
Me?
A footnote. Controversial footnote. Avenger or architect of abyss. Readers argue in Reddit threads. Book clubs dissecting the Hale doctrine. Power corrupts, but so does its pursuit. Under star-pricked Kansas skies, I raise a glass to the swapped, the scarred, the survivors. Vengeance's echo fades, but the tension hums eternal. After all, in the soul's black market, who's really who?